best. Okay, well thank you. I'm Alan, doing this set of Monday nights this month. It's been a great pleasure to do it and meet some of you, but there are new faces and that. So, is anyone here for the first time? Anyone here for the first time? Cool, okie dokie. I do recognise some of you and that. So, this is Tara Institute, or Buddhist Centre. We try to teach basic Buddhist philosophy and meditation as part of our. It's what we do here. We've studied and we believe we have something to offer people, especially in the West, about how to control the mind. Because Buddhist philosophy and meditation is about controlling the mind. It's not about controlling other people. It's in particular about controlling one's own mind. So we would love to be able to control other people's minds, but we can't. And we can't do that because we can't even control our own. I mean, maybe if we could work out how our own minds work, then maybe we could really know how to influence other people. But if we can't even understand and really appreciate how our own mind works, I mean, what hope do we have of really sort of deeply influencing other people? Because ultimately every living being is the same. They all want happiness and to avoid suffering, and will do anything to achieve that. I have my partner and I have a property in the bush near Bendigo, near one of our other centres, and we were chopping some wood for the fire, and then as this tree had fallen down, and then we ripped off the bark, and there was these huge, ugly sort of centipedes in it. Huge, ugly things with big stingers on the back. They look absolutely fearsome, and like something out of one of those Raiders of the Lost Ark movies. And I thought, my God, this thing is there, right there, and immediately I got a bit sort of uncomfortable looking at it, scared of it actually. But I mean, it was that big, and I was the size of the Empire State Building compared to it, so I really had nothing to be scared of. It was very, very scared, and then it managed to, it's in terror, sort of it wriggles into a hole in the log and managed to secrete itself and hide in the wood in its burrow, but it was terrified. So even that little bug, a horrible looking bug, fearsome looking bug, it had it had the desire to be happy, and it felt fear. It had something. I don't want to be crushed by this monster that's ripped down my home. I'd ripped down its home. I destroyed its home, and so it was sad in that sense. But I suppose I took my needs as being more important than its. So I'm going to burn its home in its winter. So that's pretty tragic, isn't it? So but yeah, it was a really ugly looking bug, and I suppose I will feel some regret for it because I'm Buddhist and I have to feel some regret for it. But so that was. But even that bug, even that thing with those tentacles and all, with those huge nippers on it and poison sort of things and hundreds of legs or whatever. Yeah, even it felt, I want to be happy. I want to avoid suffering. I feel fear, and I feel security. I know where safety is. So all those primordial emotions that really drive us, and have brought us here tonight, I suppose. I suppose you guys all want happiness and to avoid suffering. So that's why you're here. I hope we can achieve that for you. But so the way we'll do it tonight is just a little bit about meditation. We'll do some meditation. Then these talks have been about impermanence, death, reincarnation, and what sort of role that plays in Buddhist philosophy, but also what role that plays in living this life more meaningfully. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then hopefully discuss it, and people can make contributions. So I do like to get feedback from people. That's why it's nice people are a little bit closer. Do any people who've been here before or been to any other classes here, do you have any questions about some of the things that have been spoken about or discussed, or you agree with them, disagree, or could things cause angst or worry or concern or anything? Are there any stuff? Any stuff? Anything at all? It's okay. Don't have to say anything, but yeah, the opportunity's there. You shouldn't have any. See, we're not a. I don't know if you've ever been to some Tibetan Buddhist monasteries, but they're really dynamic. You think, there'd be all these pious monks sitting there quietly and meditating, it'd be silent, and it's not like that at all. You know, they're at each other all the time because part of their Tibetan Buddhist philosophy is, especially in the Gelugpa tradition we follow, is debating. So if I say to you, if I say to Pablo, okay, all phenomena are impermanent, that'd be my assertion, he would then assert back to me, well then, okay, what about the permanent phenomena of space? That's not impermanent, and then immediately refute me, and then I would have to defend my position. And so they have these great debate yards where areas like the size of like a footy field, all these groups of monks and nuns, so they do in the nunneries too, and they're debating Buddhist philosophy, and sometimes they'll take opposing positions, even non-Buddhist positions, and try to just develop and argue's a bad word. They are arguing, but it's like they've got a blunt knife and they want to sharpen it. So they want to sharpen it. They want to sharpen the mind. And at the moment we have a pretty blunt knife that is our mind, and we can't do a lot with it. We really can't compared to what its potential is. So we've got a blunt knife because it's distracted, it's tired, it gets grumpy, it gets depressed, it gets tired, it gets heavy, it falls asleep, it's lazy, or it's drug affected, or we've got mental illness or physical illness makes it. So because of that we've got this blunt instrument that is our mind. Now, we can hone it, we can sharpen that in many different ways, and there are lots of different ways to do it. And the one thing we've got here is a multiplicity of ways. Not all of them involve sitting still and being quiet. We can hone the mind, we can sharpen the mind by doing other things, such as prostrating, such as creating virtue, such as what we call creating merit, purifying, and meditating, and in particular meditating. All these hone the mind and make it a little bit clearer, a little bit cleaner, less distracted, and more energetic in the way we want it to go. So that's a possibility of what we have. That's what we do in Buddhist philosophy. What we do, we hone the mind, and one of those is like debating, because at the moment we sort of accept things. We say, I don't know, just Geelong footy team's the greatest footy team that ever existed. Okay, we accept that, and if you're in Geelong, you accept that, and no one can contradict you or something like that. However, if you're in Sydney at the moment, you probably don't quite believe that assertion. But we accept things because everyone around us accepts it. We accept that, if we're in certain parts of the world, we accept that, there should be violence against people of different ethnicity or different religions. Different skin colours, different beliefs, different behaviours, and that goes rampant around the world. So we have these beliefs, but they can be very destructive, but they're not fulfilled by strength of understanding. So anyhow, debating, questioning. So I suppose that's what I'm trying to say is we're not giving a gospel that you have to believe. You can question, you can criticise, you can. I've been in places like this, and people get up and start screaming obscenities at the person presenting. I mean, we allow them to say, "Thank you so much." It's cool. Why the heck not? I mean, if you don't believe something, if something's causing an issue, tell us about it. Please tell us about it, because it benefits us all. We say, "Wow, I mean, what happened?" We can all check up. So it's very beneficial to be questioned, to be challenged. It shouldn't be like an assault on one's being. Oh my God, you've threatened me, or you've threatened my beliefs, or you've threatened by what I hold most dearly. I mean, great, please do that so that I can check up what is truth. So yeah, please ask questions. Please feel free to exchange things. So at any time you can ask questions. So now meditating. So we've just been doing simple breathing meditation. So we'll do that again tonight. Simply because it's really easy. It's really easy. You don't have to do anything in particular because we have the breath with us all the time. And the breath sort of just goes in and out. It's a nice rhythm, and with that we can calm the mind. It's really good to do this as an emergency remedy, like for example when in terms of tremendous anxiety or worry, or if you've been drowning in some sort of thing, issue, or just panic, sheer panic sometimes. Yeah, so simply meditating on the breath is really good, especially when you're angry too. It's so good when you're angry. I wish I could do it better, but sometimes when you're really about to explode, or you have exploded, you just think, oh my God, I wish I'd counted some breaths beforehand. It would have diffused it. So it's a great way to diffuse things. So we'll just do that, and we'll do that for about 15 minutes or so. And yeah, just relax and enjoy. There's nothing. There's no like angels singing and rainbows appearing. It's just normal. We're just normal people doing something that is normal, and focusing the mind is normal. Being distracted is not normal. So the meditation posture, for those who want to sit on the floor, they can sit on the floor. For those who are on chairs, just get comfortable, have your back straight. And then when we meditate on the breath, there are probably a few, there are many different ways we can do it. Some people focus on the air going in and out of the nostrils, some on the rise and fall of the abdomen, some just on the sensation, visualising the air going in and out, or feeling the air going in and out, or knowing the air is going in and out. And then some people find it helpful to count. So like, one inspiration and one expiration is one. So one cycle. In, out, that's one, then that's two, and then you count to maybe like 7. 7's a good number. And then you see if you can get to 7 without losing concentration. If you get to 3 and you start thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow, or what happened today, or your legs are sore, or the movie you've got recording to watch later tonight or something, then you have to start back at 1 again. Okay, so this is the rule. You can't sort of just jump. So you have to do this little game with yourself. Can I get to 7? And if you can't, that's fine. If you can only get to 3, that's fine. If you only get to 2, that's okay. If you can only get to 1, okay, that means your mind's really, really, really distracted, and that really tells you something where your mind is at. There are meditators who can do this and spend, go into meditative states for hours at a time, and they're around. They're people just around. That they're not. And then there are, of course, great yogis in the past who've been able to go into these meditations for years and still survive, but just they just simply meditate like this for years. So we're just going to have 15 minutes. So counting to 7, going to 7, then go back to 1, count to 7, go back to 1. But if you only get to 5, you go back to 1. If you get 3, you go back to 1. And then it's just monitor. It's very interesting in the mind. Okay, so get comfortable. And so we'll go to, okay. We'll do 15 minutes, a nice long meditation. Just be very relaxed, and we just meditate together on the breath. Okay, you can just cease meditating at your own time and space. Okay, who got to 7 all the time? Nobody. Okay, who got to 7 once? Who got to 7 once? Put your hands up. Yeah, I got to 7. I got to 7 a few times, but not very often. Very distracted. Really hard to have single pointed there. Okay, so what was? I mean, if probably everyone here's meditated before. What do you think about meditation as a process, or how difficult it is, or what's going on to make it so hard? I mean, what do you think's happening to make it so difficult, or where those problems come from, or whatever? Yeah. Hi. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a bit easier. Thank you. Oh. Yeah, good.
And it takes a process to actually remember how you did it before, so that you can continuously do it.
Good.
I feel that it takes me like the first, I don't know how long, the first part of the meditation, I'm just everywhere.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Until I settle a bit more.
Fantastic, yeah. So we're not that brains and we're not that familiar to it. So the first half of the meditation, you just got to remind yourself, and then sort of a bit easier. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other comments? Oh, yeah. Yes. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so your body's tired, and then you try to meditate, and you sort of zone out, and yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's right. Yep. Yeah, good. So sometimes other meditations are a little bit more complex, different objects and maybe visualizing sort of stuff and stuff might be a bit easier to handle. But just on the breath, which is just such a simple object, it's really hard to keep the mind on it. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Yeah, hi.
I found there was just real little subtle things that in between the counting, just like a word would pop up and you'd have to start.
Oh, yes, the words pop up. Oh, yes.
Like a commentator was saying, "You're going to make it." And well, now I haven't.
That's right. You're at 6 and you think, I'm at 6, I'm going to get to 6. Oh no, I'm at 6. I'm going to start at 1 again. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Understand. Yeah. That little commentator up there. Yeah. The what, sorry? Oh, look, yeah. Why not? Well, that's I'm thinking about not thinking. Exactly. Yeah. Who's the I that's the thinker and the not thinking and the thinking? Yeah. Well, it goes crazy, doesn't it? Yeah. 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 Sure. Observation.
You spoke at the beginning in terms of let's just try to focus on the breath.
Yeah.
And we're using the number 7 or whatever we reach in order to somewhat measure or benchmark ourselves.
Yeah.
And if I get distracted, I start again.
Yeah, that's right.
But I find that the mere counting is a distraction.
The mere counting is a distraction, yeah.
So it may be that I normally focus on my breath and I don't realize that I'm getting distracted, or sometimes it takes me a while to realize that I've lost focus. But in this case, the counting itself, a bit like you were saying,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost an anticipation.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you say, right, I'm on the exhale, so one more inhale, or vice
Yeah, yeah,
versa. I'm halfway through 1 or 2, or so all these other things that might pop up. I guess.
Yeah, okay.
And my question is really about, I've heard teachers speak in terms of, and mine always gets distracted, and the value of the practice being in the realizing the distraction and returning to your object.
Ooh, very good. Wow, very good, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that process of, yes, you will inevitably get distracted. How we learn is realizing that we are and returning. And indeed, I've heard some teachers speak in terms of rejoice when you realize. And so rather than blind yourself or be too hard on yourself, no, you should be happy that you found yourself in distraction and then you'll return.
Yeah.
So I guess that approach is more like, sorry, is this so long, yeah?
No, fine.
That approach is more like, yes, you've got an object and there will be distractions and you take them into account, you don't fight them, you accept them and then you return to your object.
Yeah.
Whereas this idea of counting is more of an exclusive approach. Do you know what I mean? So you must focus on your breath, and unless you have, you must start counting again. So it's almost, I don't know if the word is punishing, but it sanctions the distraction, right? Whereas the other one doesn't encourage it, accepts it and say, yeah, look, that's what the mind does. And the whole idea is to become aware of that, and hopefully, I guess, you will extend your period of non-distraction. So, which one is it?
I don't think it's just one, is it? There's a whole lot of things, I don't know. What about you guys down the back? You're always having fun, so, you seem to enjoy it.
I found the last 2 weeks I just keep on getting distracted and thinking about work.
Oh, yeah. Look.
Last week and this week.
Yeah, cool.
But,
Yeah, that's right. Look, it's really hard, isn't it? Because you've all raced here from probably all over Melbourne. You've walked in the door, and you think, right, now I'm going to stop. All these distracting thoughts, your tiredness. You talk about tired. Yeah, we're all tired. Everybody's tired. And then you come in and sit down and you go, oh, I just want to close my eyes and have a nap, really. And maybe that'd be the best thing. So I'm too tired to meditate. I'm going to go and lie down for 15 minutes, have a nap, wake up, and then I'll be less distracted. Or, I've just finished work and I've raced here, or I've done this, that on the way here. I've got things to do on the way home. Then, that's really hard to stop that, because the mind's not like light switches, We're going to leave them in the meditation room, turn those light switches off, and they're off. There is no electricity, there is no light. But for us, we want to flick that switch on our brain and the lights stay on, and not only that, they're flickering. It's like a discotheque, Actually, they're more, you sort of, suddenly it really is like a discotheque. So, anyhow, very good comment. All very astute. I mean, I should swap places, I wouldn't mind sitting there and you can tell me how to do this, because you're fine. You're on the right track, all on the right track. Perfect. So there are two things, and I think you mentioned a couple of things, and a couple of people mentioned it about remembering what you've got to meditate on, because we forget it, and then being aware of when we've lost it. There are two things. They're the two things that are really important. And then a third one, which is to just have the effort to keep trying. You mustn't give up, and be patient. And I think like the punishing thing, no, it's not punishment. It's just fun, and you'll get better. So remembering what we're supposed to be meditating on is what we call mindfulness. So that's that mental factor of mindfulness. Now, there are many different ways mindfulness is spoken about, but basically it just means to remember, become familiar, remember the meditation object. And then the alertness is that part of the brain. So we do have a little watcher. Okay, for the purposes of this exercise, we separate a bit of our brain, and it is the watcher. It is the watcher. So there's a watcher, and this is watching what's going on, and we call that alertness. And then when we've lost them, they're meditating on the breath, we're starting to lose it, we're getting a bit tired and we're thinking about work, this watcher, this alertness says, I've forgotten my meditation object, and now I'm getting distracted, I'm now distracted, and then we put the effort in, okay, now I need to do something, a remedy. Now, what sort of remedies? The good thing about the counting is that when you're really distracted, I go back to 1. 1 is concrete, 1 is easy, like 1. You don't say, I'm going to go back to 13. 13 is complicated. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to 1. Nothing could be easier than 1, so go back to 1. Start again. And then so continually put in that effort. And not getting strung out. It's not a race. It's not, there's no winner, there's no loser. It's a process of being gentle with yourself, just being gentle with yourself. So that's okay. Now, that's very good, very good. Thank you very much. We do have to do a little bit about the Buddhist philosophical sort of thing, and so this is the other sort of meditation we do, which is about analysis and analysing our situation, and then coming to a change in attitude. So this sort of meditating on the breath will make us calm and stable, and that'll naturally reduce a lot of the anxiety and stress and everything we have in our life. But then we need to actually then sort of improve ourselves, become more tolerant, become more loving, become more compassionate, becoming less jealous, less angry, less desirous, or all that sort of stuff. So the way to do that is to actually start analysing the situation. Now, we had spoken about that these classes were going to be about impermanence and death and reincarnation, and it's wonderful. They're wonderful topics to discuss, but I suppose we thought just tonight haven't got sort of long, so maybe we'll take a slight aside from that, because I suppose what does distract us from the really deep and meaningful things in our life, it's usually like forms of attachment and ego, pleasure driven and stuff like that. And so I'll just give you one verse from the Buddha. This is a really nice little verse, and I've read it many times, but in different sort of translations. But I'll just read you out one translation, because it's quite good. So this is something the Buddha said. Okay, wherever there is meeting, there is parting. So wherever there is meeting, there is parting. Wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. Wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. This one, we can call this here, wherever there is high, like something's created and it's high, then there is low. Whenever there is high, and that's even reputations and things, but wherever is high, there is low. And then wherever there is life, there is death. Wherever there is life, there is death. So this is a really lovely verse. It's really lovely because it encompasses the whole of our existence. And it also sort of is a bit of a shake-up to think, wow, how am I living my life? How am I living my life? I got so angry with my partner yesterday, or the day before, actually, I'm thinking about it. A couple of days ago, I really got angry at my partner. We had an argument about something stupid, which it usually is. And so, I needed to do breathing meditation, and I needed to meditate on this. And I did neither, so we had an argument. So anyhow. And so that's the way it goes, isn't it? But if we meditate on something, I'll just give a little bit of an explanation, and then you have to delve into your own experience. So there are just 4 things. There are just 4 points to this. I'll go over them again. Wherever there is meeting, there is parting. Okay, this is a good example. We've met. There's a door. You came through that door. There's parting. We may never meet again in this life. But, however, I believe in karma. I think we've met before. We're going to meet again because of the karma we've created tonight. And who knows, in the past, you were here and I was there, and I was listening to you, you were talking, and I was listening. So that's it. So wherever there is meeting, there is parting. So that goes for everything. It goes for friends, it goes for family, it goes for work colleagues, people you study with, everything. You meet and then separate, meet and separate, meet and separate. That's the nature of existence. It is the nature of existence. We try to cling, but it just doesn't work. So in this meditation, we're just going to briefly do this. Wherever there is meeting, there is parting. And you just think of all the relationships you've had. Oh, I met with that ugly bug that was trying to bite me. Okay. Thank God I'm not meeting him again, him or her again, or hermaphrodite, whatever it is. But, meeting and parting. So wherever there's meeting, there's parting. Wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. What that means is we try to accumulate. We spend our whole life accumulating. Okay, look what you've got in your cupboards. Go home tonight and look in your cupboards. All the stuff you've accumulated. Look in your garage. Look in your basement. Look in your car boot. Look everywhere. All the stuff you've accumulated. And that's, we try to accumulate. And then people accumulate more and more. And it's just insatiable. Sometimes it's insatiable how much they accumulate. I mean, those of you old enough to remember Imelda Marcos with her rooms full of shoes. Remember? How many shoes did she have? Thousands? I don't know. But other people, we're all the same. We just don't have the money to do it or the resources. But if we could, we probably would. So we'd accumulate stuff. But wherever there's accumulation, then it disperses. It's the nature of things. I mean, we can try to grab everything. I mean, the Roman Empire tried to grab it. The British Empire tried to grab it. The Queens, Queen Elizabeth, they tried to grab everything. They tried to grab Australia, Canada, America. They tried to grab them, and then it disperses, because that's the nature of things. The more we grab, the more it disperses. It slips through our fingers. So wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. Wherever there is high, there is low. Now, there are many ways we can look at this. For example, high reputation. A person with a very high reputation, and then they crash to the ground. And we see that all the time, all the time. Wherever there is high, there is low. And people suffer tremendously. Like poor old Donald Trump. I mean, he lives for his reputation. He lives and breathes for his reputation more than anything. And the amount of suffering and anguish he's undergoing just because he can't believe that he was so high and now he's low. And he's going to get, well, we shouldn't rejoice, should we? We're not allowed to rejoice. But he will get very low, hopefully for the sake of humanity. But anyhow, high and low. Prime Ministers, I'm a ScoMo, poor old ScoMo. He's a backbencher now. They're all backbenchers eventually. Every Prime Minister is a backbencher, or they leave Parliament, or they die, or something like that. So, wherever there is high, and all their reputations, all the things we've tried to achieve there, they go away. And finally, wherever there is life, there is death. So this is the final one. Wherever there is life, there is death. So put everything we do on a day-to-day basis into the context of those four principles, and then we'll start leading life really differently, I think. I think this could really make a transformation to our personality. We could actually start to change our values, our attitudes, what we believe, and finally how we behave, especially to other people. Yeah, would we have that argument that gets out of control with our partner? Would we yell and scream because we're not getting our own way, having a tantrum, so to speak? Would we? We probably wouldn't, because wherever there's meeting, there's parting. Wherever accumulation, there's separating. Wherever there's high, I'm the winner this time, you're the loser. Next time, you'll be the winner, I'll be the loser. And finally, I have life, but then there is death. You have life, but then there's death. One day this argument, I'll regret it so intensely because you'll not be around. And I didn't say sorry. So they're the sort of things we have to think about. So we're just going to do it. This is an analytical meditation. I'm just going to say these four things, and then you meditate on your experience. So this is an analytical meditation, as opposed to a single point. It's just contemplating. You sit there and think, blah, 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 blah. And you see if this is true or not. And so now we just get into your meditation posture again. Yeah, good. Okay, just relax. So we're going to transform our mind now, transform our attitudes. The first way we do that is by contemplating wherever there is meeting, there is parting. Meditate on all the relationships we've had, how every time we've met, there has been parting. Just meditate on that, your own experience. Now the second topic of the meditation is wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. Wherever there is accumulation, there is dispersal. Think of all the things we've accumulated and how they will all be dispersed one day. Third topic of the meditation is wherever there is high, there is low. Reputations are high, then they crash down. Buildings are high, they crash down. Mountains, even the greatest mountains in the world, crash down one day. Wherever there is high, there is low. And finally, wherever there is life, there is death. Meditate on this. Wherever there is life, there is death. Okay, and just cease the meditation and relax your posture. Yeah. Okay. So just time for more comments or observations. People's experiences. What works in this process? What doesn't? Anything? Yeah. Hello.
When I started here a few years back, when I used to come every week, and it took me a long time, nearly 12 months, to learn how to meditate properly.
Wow.
I used to be really angry with myself when I couldn't do it, but it took a long time, and then finally it happened. Now, the only thing I think I'm doing it wrong is that I breathe through my nose in and out. I don't use breathing through the nose and out the mouth.
Okay. Good.
Is that okay?
That's
I
okay.
just breathe normally.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's probably better to breathe in and out the nostrils. Probably better to breathe in and out.
I can hear it more and I can feel it more.
Good. Good. Yeah.
And I do it at home sometimes, and it's really, really good now.
Oh,
But
good.
in the beginning it was just hopeless. I used to walk out of here thinking, I'll never do it.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. I'm glad you've persisted at it. And that's great, and you've done it at home. You've got a little doing your own sort of practice in it. That's excellent,
And with an object too. They used to teach us how to do it by looking at something, and I couldn't even do that. I had to close my eyes and think of that object in my head. So it all sort of worked out, but it took a long time.
What sort of object do you use in the meditation? Oh, if it's
It's a yellow rose.
a yellow rose, beautiful. Isn't that
I
lovely?
don't know why.
Yeah.
A long stem, beautiful yellow rose.
Lovely. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Good. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I think because one comment you made is that you're tired and you come here and make the effort. I mean, we get some people come in, like drive in an hour to get here, and it's just, by the time they get here, they're really tired, and then got to drive another 45 minutes or an hour getting home. So it's much sort of easier to do the meditation at home. You get out of bed in the morning, roll over, find a place where you can put a cushion or a chair and won't be disturbed, and just do it, because then you... No commuting, really, is there? Yeah, you don't have to go to all that effort. So I think that's what you're saying, is when you start doing this at home. So come here, we can talk about things, you can sort of learn a few techniques, but do go home and do it, because it's so much easier at home. And then, when do you find it best to do the meditation? In the morning or the evening?
No, but I don't have time.
I don't have time.
If I get some bad news
Yeah.
or something,
Hmm?
I just need to go out to sort of sit down and just
Good.
get out of the situation. I don't want to think about it.
Good. Excellent. Yeah. Fabulous, yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. Any other sort of observations or people's experiences?
I still find it really hard.
Oh, you still find it really hard, do you?
This is my granddaughter.
Oh, your granddaughter. Wow. Okay, good. Thank you for bringing Granny along.
She used to bring me when I was 16, and then
Oh, really?
coming, and then
Oh, really?
I'm bringing her.
Now you're bringing. Oh, wow. That's
I
a.
find it so hard.
Yeah.
You just have to persevere.
What do you find so hard to tell me? I mean,
Just shutting my mind off, I think.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Probably because like coming out, like the first one we did, that's like the first time really all day after work and everything,
Mm.
I've just been like in silence.
Mm.
So it's hard to then, I feel like the brain naturally then goes to like reflect on the day you've had, 'cause it's the first chance you have to sort of sit
Yeah.
and have quiet.
Yeah, for sure. It's wonderful you keep trying. I mean, it's fabulous, you know. Congratulations. It's really, really good. Yeah. Well,
I don't think there's any need to shut your mind.
yeah. So,
I think it's more about observing what your mind is
Yeah.
doing. You're accepting that, you've had a big day and
Yeah.
you just had your opportunity to process it or
Yeah.
whatever it is that it does. And rather than fight,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's good. It's good. Yeah. Just keep trying. Keep trying. Just don't give up. I mean, just keep trying, because there's so many. Look, there are a lot of negative forces out there. There are a lot of negative forces, and then what we're trying to do is to counter. Huge negative forces out there. And a lot of those are external, but a lot of them are internal too. But everything out there is trying to capture you, try to get your attention, try to get your money, your resources, your interest, your life, your breath, everything. Everything's out there trying to grab. So we have to say, look, stop. I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to let you take away my life. And that could be like, you've got to watch this TV and it's a series, and for the next, you've got to spend 15 hours of this precious life of yours watching this mini-series, and you have to do it because you just have to do it. No, you don't have to do it. That's 15 hours you'll never get back again. I can do something else. I don't have to watch TV. I don't have to gamble. I don't have to drink. I don't have to do what other people think I should do. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to come to Monday night and meditate at Tara with nice people. That's it. That's fine. So, thank you very much for your attention, for those of you who've came. And we're going to have a cup of tea upstairs now. And look, please, this is just part of your spiritual journey, but enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your spiritual path, and wherever it leads you, I hope we bump into each other again. And that you bump into each other again, support each other. And next week there'll be, I think Jeremy's starting, and so we'll be doing all sorts of things. So make sure you're on the newsletter, mailing list, and keep in contact, all that sort of stuff. There might be things that resonate with you. So just make contact. You're safe here. We're not that weird. I'm a bit weird, but not that weird. Okay, thank you very much. See you later. Thank you. Bye bye.